Page 131, Autumn Fest. On page 129, they have another review. And it is important that you know and understand all that stuff. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. The answers are in the back of the book, but it really is important that you understand it. On page 130, they're talking about inversions. And they can make them look really hard here. An inversion is when you're just turning a chord over. Let's take the C major chord, for instance. I mean, we've been inverting all along, whether you knew it or not. C major chord, that's called root position. That is root because it's every other note, and the bottom note identifies the name of the chord. See, it would have to be a C major chord. Remember major and minor and all that junk? I got a major third and a minor third. It's a major triad, a major chord. C major. Well, I can rearrange the notes. As long as I play a C, an E, and a G, I can play them anywhere. It's still a C major chord. So it's not the arrangement of the notes, it's the names of the notes in the chord. So I can do that. I put the C on top. I've turned it over. I've inverted it one time. So this is first inversion. It's not every other note because I got two notes here. So the bottom note doesn't identify the chord anymore. Now I can turn it over again, put the E on top, and come down here. I've inverted again, that second inversion. So we got root, first inversion, second inversion. So if I go from here to here, I went from root to second inversion. You know, counting, you're always going up on the counting, but you can go either direction when you actually invert it. So that's second inversion. Well, they're showing you the F chord. It's the same thing. F chord, root position, first inversion, second inversion. They all work the same. But with a seventh chord, because you got four notes in the chord, let's go with a G7 chord. I can invert it one more time because I can invert it for each note in the chord. So that every other note, that's the bottom note. It identifies it as a G chord, and I added the 7th, so it's a G7. Well, I put the G on top. If I leave out the D, you recognize that. We've been using that, but yeah, we're using them all. First inversion, then I put the B on top. Second inversion, then I can put the D on top. It's third inversion, so I got three inversions here. So I got root, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion. D's on top. That's all it is. They're used in various kinds of music for various reasons. You just need to understand what they are. That's all. It would be really important for you to understand this if you get into composing or arranging or something. But otherwise, you just need to know what they are, so you're at least musically literate, or you understand. If you're reading or talking to somebody and they mention the stuff, you can understand what they're saying. Now, let's cover Autumn Fest. I give you a warm-up at the top of the page. That's for the chords in the left hand. They're going from a 1 chord to a 4 chord. You should do it in both hands. You do the warm-up. I'm not interested. Let's talk Autumn Fest. 3 lines long, treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature. We're in the key of C major. Make sure you're doing the C major scale, 1 octave up and down. I got a video on it. You've heard this lecture before. Okay. 4/4 time signature. We got quarter notes and eighth notes and junk going on. Right hand first. Let's make sure we understand the rhythm and all. You're starting with third finger on E. Now put your hand in this position. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and tie. See, that's tied. Next line, third measure, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Okay, and that's, by the way, that's time. I would hold that down more, except my thumb slid off the note. It's not my fault, it's slippery, it just slid off. Yeah. Last line is Now we got an E flat. So third finger's on the E, so I'm going to use third finger on the E flat. 1 and 2. And that's tied. You hold that down for 6 counts. Okay. Left hand, well, you got these chords in the left hand and the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And that's basically what the left hand's doing. You want to get to where you can play these chords without looking at the piano. You need to be able to feel this. Eventually. So if I put the hands together, it's one hand to the other playing. And 4 and 1 and 2 and hold the right hand. Rest. And that's basically it. Once you're comfortable with the notes and the rhythms, then you get rid of the hesitations, and we can think about the articulation. I'm going to hinge at the wrist on these short. Half notes, not staccato. And then connect this, hold this down, and these are staccato. Rest. Now, there are different ways of interpreting this. I'll leave that up to you. But for when you're first doing it, don't interpret it, play it the way it's written. And the last measure of the first 2 lines, same thing, sort of. The right hand comes up on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The left hand's got staccatos. It's done. It's done before beat 4 gets around because of the staccato. So you're holding this down a little bit longer at the end. To 4/4, because people will just lift them the same, like that. That's not what's written, so please don't do that. Hold that down a full 3 counts. As far as interpreting it goes, once you get in it and start feeling it, you might sometimes interpret it by lifting them up at the same time. But we're not interpreting anything right now. We're playing it exactly as written. The dynamics, they're misleading with their dynamics. The way they've done it. They tell you MF at the beginning is mezzo forte. Sort of loud. Yeah. Whatever you think kind of loud is. And then when the right hand comes in, they want that loud, a little louder than that. Well, at the end of the line, that's melody. So yeah, I'm going to play the chords a little softer than that. So they could be medium loud. Because all the time I'm doing this, I want to hear that note. But in the second line, they don't give you any more dynamics. Well, I'm loud now. That would mean I'm loud for the second line. And that's not what they want. They want the left hand to be medium loud all the way through, except the end. So keep this medium loud and the right hand loud all the way through until the end. The last 2 measures, you come down to moderately soft. And the left hand is now soft. Yeah, because when I do this in the last measure, I want to hear that note, and that note is moderately soft. Yeah, so you'll be real light in the left hand there at the end. It's good practice. When you're practicing the C major scale, you need to start thinking about playing the scale one hand louder than the other. So as you're doing the scale, let the right hand be loud and the left soft. The right hand is heavy, the left hand is light. And then switch it. Let the left hand be heavy and the right hand be light. It's good practice. If you practice these kinds of things with doing the scales, then you'll be able to do it in the music. And since you need to do the scales anyway, you can use those for all these other technical. See, I don't use exercises per se. Don't assign them. I don't use them. We didn't use them in college. We use scales to practice all that stuff because you need to do the scales anyway. So We could do scales with staccato, legato, or mix it. Have one hand staccato and one hand legato. And then switch it. It's good practice. You're going to get it in music, and if you can work on it in the scale, when you get it in the music, you'll find you'll be able to do it. As far as the speed goes, it says allegro, which to me means fast. Some people it means happy. I don't know about happy here, but I would. What's fast? What does it feel fast? But it's got to be accurate. So what? I don't know. You pick fast. I don't know. There's a retardando in the last measure, so I'm just slowing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Please don't copy me. You take it at your speed, at whatever you can handle accurately. Let's play it together very slowly. Double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. I'll give us 4 counts. Now let's try it just to make sure you're playing the right notes at the right time. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2. 4 and. Rest. Rest. 4 and 1 and rest and